Eagle Mabati. We are a dedicated team geared to produce quality. From raw material, we handle our iron sheets with care. A fully equipped production line to give you variety and quality. Top-notch iron quality with different gradings to serve a wide range of clients. With a fully capable logistics team, we can deliver anywhere and everywhere in the country. Eagle Mabati, always on top.
Ladies and gentlemen, najua hata hatujapika tukamaliza, but I think I'm excited about this whole evening because we're going to kuchapilia nyundo, vitu kama hizo, kuokota mahali zinaokotwa, and also to make sure that everybody who is tuned in today, and which we are so grateful that you decided to join us today, you're able to understand and learn most about the Vision 2035, that one of us, the son of Embu, Ken Java Mwaneki, has decided I ain't moving alone. Tunatembea tukikuwa wengi, na nabeba watu wangu kwa mgongo. And that is why we are here today, to understand his journey, to understand his plan. And before I go on, my name is Njoki Wanjiro. I am a presenter, and I'll be your host tonight to ensure that we dive, we dig, we engage, and we enjoy and have fun with Ken Java. And kiongozi. Unajua ile time tulianza kukusikia watu walisema manze tunatoa jam, tunasukuma nini, alafu ikakuwa sasa huyo mtu vile amekuja anakuja kumaliza sisi hapa ndani na hakuna haja ati tuseme ati ubaya. And so tonight when we posted and said we're going to have this conversation, we had very many questions, very many people thinking ama msee ataka kutuambia ataka kunini kidogo msee akona pesa anapeana. But I would want us to have a relaxed one. Ndio sasa kila mtu aseme huyo mtu wa biashara by the way usimuongeleshe sana juu yani unajua watu wa biashara wanaogopeka pia. So I would want you to feel rested, feel welcome and also enjoy. Nataka ujibambe nondo tukaga mona wekiondaga muthambia. And so I'm going to mix all the languages so that any viewer who is watching us is able to understand. But before we go on, I would want to know Ken Java ni nani? Sababu kuna wengine ukituuliza tunasema ni msee wa CD. Aliuza CD kutoka kitambo. Just a brief introduction of who is Ken Java.
Thank you my sister Njoki, nimeshukuru sana. Ken Java is a business person in Embu and most recently we've now moved to Nairobi. Tunafanya biashara sasa hadi Nairobi. I think you saw us launch it's an expansion company called the Cabro City. Mm-hmm. So Ken Java Mwaniki is I am born in Embu. Mimi ni msee amegrow hapa Embu, si msee kutoka nje akakuja. I'm a businessman currently I'm operating a company called Eagle One Concrete, or rather the group name is the Eagle Group.
Yes.
Under it we have we have the quarries, the ones that produce ballast, kakoto. Tunatengeneza mabati, tunatengeneza lami and all construction materials. We are based at Kangaro. We also have a station in Ogweri and Eshiara. So mimi ni mswa biashara, hizo stories zingine ni kuekelewa. Yeah, ni kelele.
Hujazisikia pia wewe. Ni vile watu wanasema.
No, nimezisikia.
Wanasema aje?
No, nimezisikia si ati sijazisikia. Unajua tukishatoka kwa biashara masaa ya jioni tunaingia pia pande nyingine tunajiita the Wakagoto Nation.
Yeah.
Which is a formation that we created around 2 years ago. Na tunafanya vitu mingi sana pale kama Wakagoto Nation.
Yes.
Na si ati vitu tumeanza, ni vitu tulikuwa tunafanya hadi kitambo.
Yes.
But sasa ndio tumeanza kuziformalize.
Zikuwe kama whole scale. Ni ile vitu mtu amekuwa akifanya kamoja then you realize
sure,
need to bring more people on board.
Yeah.
Now looking at Eagle One. Tumesema tulikuwa pale Kangaro. And I'm also glad that we had an experience of seeing Embu Nairobi. Lakini ingemetuko ya tutunwa area tulienda Nairobi, ulitupeleka Nairobi. And you had this amazing launch of Cabro City. And comes with it questions and many people wanting to understand. You're championing that we need to build this county. Hii county ni yetu. Hii county lazima tuisukume. And then there is you umeamuka tu asubuhi moja umeamua ni kama pesa iko Nairobi. Many people would be wondering why start here? Ama is Cabro City new? Is it something that you have been doing and now it's just now out there? Or what would you say about Cabro City?
So there's been a misconception. It's like we are moving our business to Nairobi, but that's not the case. Cabro City is an expansion project for under the Eagle Group. Just like the other day we saw Safaricom has now moved to Ethiopia. Yeah. Doesn't mean that Safaricom is moving from Kenya. It just means Safaricom wanaona wametoshereza biashara hapa Kenya and they need to expand their scope. So under the Eagle Group, we started in Embu back in 2020 and we've now reached a point where we feel we've satisfied the Embu market or rather the Mount Kenya market. Kwa sababu tunaona hakuna order inakuja, tunashindwa kuifanya. We are able to supply all our demand. And we felt we now need to expand. And the only place that we thought about was Nairobi, considering that Nairobi is the capital city of East Africa. True. So we felt we need to expand towards Nairobi. Na hata kama tume-expand kwenda Nairobi, ile siku ya launch nilisema tumebeba bendera ya Embu juu kabisa.
No, it's very important.
Yeah,
because
sure.
Ukiuliza watu story ya Cabro City, wengi watakwambia ni watu wa Embu walikuwa wameenda Nairobi.
Kabisa.
Walikuwa wametokelezea wakafika Nairobi. But then the idea of we are not living, most people think maybe tutaanza kuona sasa magari zimetoka hapa Igoan, tumefunga kiwanda, tunaenda Cabro City. What difference does it bring to an Embian now that we normally look at how best we grow Embu? What should we expect? More Embu who would come to Nairobi and say, I want to look for a job. The opportunities that you've given most of the people here in Eagle One, are those factors that you're overseeing in Cabro City? Have you already started bringing people from Embu on board? Yeah. And what's the plan? Okay, thank you.
Cabro City was constructed by an Embian contractor. He's a guy from Embu called Farason Mureithi. Na andu aria mavutire kuvitukira vara Cabro City tukimithondeka, they can attest it was an Embian affair. And I can also give assurance that even now as we enter to execution, yes, because that was just the construction, the launch, now we are now entering to the execution stage, which is now like kickstarting the operations, productions. We're going to see more Embians get more opportunities in that project. Tukama utagoko na mbadi siya sukruto kama vile Nairobi. No, you know, Joki, let me tell you something.
Yes.
Back in 2019, when I set up an alcohol manufacturing factory in Athi River, and that is something I feel very proud about because I made sure when I was living at the river, niliacha tumetengeneza kijiji ya Waembu kule. At one point, I had employed 425 people. Out of those, 90% was from Embu. I'm sure if you now go to Athi River, yes, kuko na siana sieto siya Embu, nematigire mbeo. So even now for Cabro City, yes, we expect nothing different. When things start rolling, no kuambia kuona tugezeragia mbathi goko ya ndawira tukamivira kuria. And it's also important to say this. The reason why we've also gone to Nairobi, we needed to get the national visibility. At times we've been getting contractors coming from outside the country. When they come, yes, we try to tell them that we are based in Embu. They couldn't really understand where is this Embu. So we want to use the Cabro City now branch, yes, as a stepping stone for contractors who are getting to Kenya so that they can be able to understand us much better. Koguo teru twivara Nairobi tugaguka tugie subcontract tugia gutuma varavara na guku ya Naivasha, Kisumu. Yeah. That will give an opportunity to more Embians. Sure. So when we are positioning ourselves in Nairobi, I would want to say that it's for visibility and it's also good news to our Embu children. Yeah. More so the youths. Yeah.
I'm loving how unasema ni kuanda nduka. Tamburie geki ndo it's sometimes very very critical wakati unajua kwanza watu wenye tuko mtandao sasa ndio inauza ndio ina sell. Na tulikuwa tumeshika moto sana by the way sababu pia mimi nilikuwa nasikia hiyo si part mzuri sana. Java ulienda kutafuta watu wa kutengeneza CV Nairobi na sisi tuko. Most people ask that question and I remember when it was even live when you were doing now the evening Embu Connect, people are like lakini hakuleta wa Embu watu wa support na anasema ana support youth. Bona alitafuta watu wa Nairobi wauze hii nini hata mimi angenipea 50 bob ningeuza. What was your feel about not what influenced or advised you maybe to bring on board people from other counties to support in the marketing of Cabro City, for example, and also during the Embu Connect event?
Okay, I feel that is also another misconception, considering that during the launch of the Cabro City business park in Nairobi, as I said that it was an Embu affair. Tangwere, munda waturugere irio kura Nairobi, ni Embu. The girls who are ushering us, it's a team from Embu called the Weekend Plans. Yes. They are the ones who are ushering. The team that was entertaining us, tuari na kamwana geta kwa tipis. Alafu pia tulikuwa na Mandadu.
Yeah. One man guitar.
One man guitar. Yes. The MC, the co-host to Baby Top was our own son here, Celestius. If you look at the guys who are giving us security, yes, again, they were a team from Embu. what we need, at times we need also to expose our people from Embu to those ones who have like already made it. So like merging Saleh and Baby Top, it was a way of also exposing Saleh to the national market. The ushers, the weekend plans, who did a very good job. Again, we exposed them to the Nairobi market. And on that specific day, a lot of people asking, are these girls from Nairobi? And I told them, no.
Yes.
The committee that was planning the launch of the Cabro City, it was formed by Ambians. Kogwo, at times you also need to agree to and we should also expose them to those who are well placed.
The
interlink, so they can also okay, we call it in construction, okay, you see there's something we call transfer of skills.
Yeah.
The transfer of skills, I'm sure there is somebody like Mandadu, so to come Baby Top amefanya yenye atatumia in the next event. So we ensured that 90% of that fair was an Embu thing. Mimi, I'm a patriot.
Yes.
Mimi ukinikata damu yangu ikora kuete Embu. Yeah.
We have seen you have an official MC most of the time. Kwa sema ukiona akifanya lazima utaona hiyo hapo kwa forefront kama official MC. Hiyo na utatuambia pia ulimkanyangisha barabara kubwa ama kulienda aje? We have not seen him. People will ask, we have not seen him in the recent events. Kwani kulienda aje?
No, it's just that one event. Pius is a strong member of the Wakagoto Nation. And if I can take you back, unajua Wakagoto Nation is a big team. Iko na watu wengi sana multi-talented. When we were launching the Mabati at Kangaroo, Pius was not the MC. Wakati wenye tumeenda Kimangaro, Pius was the MC.
Yeah.
And like now, during the launch of the Wakagoto Foundation, the MC was Pius and Saleh. So for me, what I did, tumetoka ni Kimangaro na Pius, kaambia ndugu yangu sasa tukienda Nairobi wacha tu expose pia ujamaa wetu, tuone kama atatafuta unga. So he's a member of the Wakagoto Nation. He's my good friend. He's like a brother to me. Just that we have to keep on exchanging the people who offer services, considering that we are a big team, a big unit.
Which I appreciate that you've been able
and
to
also,
answer.
and also, but sorry, hii nimekumbuka sahi. During the Cabro City launch, the service provider for the sound was a young man from Embu called Milele Sounds. Nilikuwa nimekaa mahali nilikuwa nimekaa. Okay, tulikuwa tumekaa na jamaa wa Bonfire, Simon.
Yes.
Na Baby Top. Simon Bonfire has an event happening sometimes in July. Yeye mwenyewe aliniuliza hii sound umeletoa na nani? He thought ni kina More Sounds nani? Hizo makampuni kubwa at the national level. And when I told him it's a young man from Embu, a young guy we are trying to mentor to grow.
Yes.
Akaniambia kijana, juu mimi niko kwa committee event yake.
Yeah.
Akasema sound, make sure niye ametuletea. So in fact, 95% of the service providers were from Embu.
Yes.
And I'm very proud of the services they offered during the launch.
That's beautiful. I think I want us to take home, because sometimes it's good. Unajua nikuja na note ndio pia mimi na take home when things come, because sometimes you find you've held hand ya mtu, and then when you give them a job they don't perform. And I think it's a beautiful thing when we hear that you're given an opportunity and you delivered, because most of the times you find people not coming back is because nilikupatia hii kazi manze na uliniangusha hata uliaibisha. But it's a good thing that you're saying that they were able to deliver and the feedback is amazing. Now I want us to start from the Cabro City and just understand the night ya sherehe au haiko ya sherehe.
Of course ilikuwa bado na sherehe.
Ilikuwa sherehe na maongezi, because I understand there were very real conversations that took place that night. And most people would have expected, and they kept saying watu wanaenda huko kama wamealikwa na kadi. So I think it's also important to know who was invited, who was not invited, because most of us we normally tunaangalianga tunatupanga macho. Kuna mali unaweza niita alafu ukatae kuita pengine mtu kama DN alafu niseme ni kama hiyo nini ya iko sure, ni kama hiyo better tuwekelee vizuri and stuff. On the Embu Connect, you mentioned it was an idea that you wanted to bring the Embu professionals together amidst other investors and all that. Who was invited, who was not? Let's start from there. Ilikuwa na mwaliko ama ni mwenye aliona poster?
Okay, first of all, allow me to mention that the Embu Connect was not my thing alone. We met in Nairobi a few months ago with a team of like 15 to 20 guys. And we elected a chairman. He's called Mr. Nyenje. Na tukaona Nairobi is a very big city.
Yes.
Na considering that Embu is a very small tribe, if we are not careful, tutamezwa pale nini Nairobi. Jijini, unajua Nairobi ni jiji kubwa sana.
Sure.
And we thought we need to create a platform that Embians doing business in Nairobi can meet and exchange ideas, also get a platform to sell their products or rather exhibit their products. And we tried as much as possible to concentrate on the Embians living in Nairobi. So the committee, we all agreed that everybody is going to invite any person that they know that lives and works in Nairobi and is an Embian. Because for us to grow Embu, we first of all need to bring together all the Embians living outside Embu. Na tuvote kugia platform ya kumereithia mathina maria marahappen huku Embu tuothe twi vamwe. So we invited guys, most of them people living in Nairobi. Of course, we also have Embians living in Embu, but they have interest in Nairobi. Like now you find there is a guy who I know does business in Embu, but the family is based in Nairobi. So we were considering such people. And the Embu Connect, contrary to a lot of talks that have been in town, it was about politics, it was about bringing us together. And I'm so proud that we achieved what we wanted to achieve.
Yeah, because I understand they were close to 700
sons
and daughters of the soil who decided I need to hear what's happening. And maybe for understanding, because there are those things that stood out. They normally stand out for somebody and you feel this stood out for me. Hii sasa vile nimesikia hiyo imeongelelewa inaweza make sense. Na wenye tulikuwa tunaangalia kwa mtandao tuko live. Hata kuna mtu alikuwa yeye ashamaliza kupackage mpaka tomato paste yake, which was a very brilliant idea if you ask me. Besides that, what are some of maybe 1 or 3 things that stood out during the Embu Connect and you felt these ideas to invest in? And then now we can now dive to the one that you felt maybe was outstanding and this is where I want to start. Okay,
one, I would also mention that I think I forgot to mention about it. During the Embu Connect, or rather from the Cabro City Lounge to the Embu Connect, in the evening party, we gave Embians who do business in Nairobi a platform to exhibit their products.
Wow.
We didn't charge them even a single cent. A lady from Embu called, she's the former MCA for Nginda, tumwitaga Wamaviriri. Says. Yes, unamjua?
Yeah.
Says exhibited her coffee during the launch. And I am made to understand that she sold all the stocks that she had carried and she has started locking some orders.
Wow.
So again, also the Embu Connect was to give a platform to products that we produce in Embu and expose them to the Nairobi market. During the Embu Connect event, there are so many things that stood out.
Yeah.
But
maybe 2
or 3
for somebody who was not there, asiseme na angetuambia 2 to 3 yenye tulikuwa ndio pia mimi nisikie ni kama nilikuwa involved, so that there is also an understanding of those discussions they were. And I think I would want to mention and say it's important sometimes wakati live hata imeisha kama hukukua, sometimes take time to just go back, watch, listen before, because at least I think I appreciate Facebook, because even though you go live, they'll give you like 30 minutes for someone who didn't come in. And maybe if you're wondering what we are talking about on Matters Embu Connect, you need to take some time and just go watch through. Maybe also ask your questions, because I saw very many people asking questions which they resonate with until now, because when we spoke about this show, people were still airing what they felt needs to be carried on from that end. And I think kama mtazamaji, tafadhali take time and just go watch it from Ken Java's Facebook page and understand. Maybe we pick on two before now we go for a break.
Okay, sasa one of kwanza kabisa which makes me feel very proud.
Yes.
Netwavotire kuonia andu arengi other communities living in Nairobi that we Embians can be united.
Sure.
You know, my neighbors around that area, I happen to neighbor some guys who are business people and they come from different areas. Noegusaka tu makiuga vare omunthe Embu nimaukire guka. So I feel like we've given Embu some recognition in Nairobi. Na ugo twaukire we really came out in numbers. The parkings were full.
Purpose.
Yeah, unity of purpose.
Yeah.
Na kiune kindu kimone ngione gikoretwo gigitura. Sometimes Embu etomathi Nairobi.
Yeah, mundu karagike.
Makambia kwaria rugere ingi.
Mwana ni mwathani twerinda.
Makambia kwaria rugere. Na ayop tondu ikaragarisa ayop na ndwaragia rugere ingi.
Kangwiriri gwakoro kuku andu mese Embu. Na nimenda kwaria Kiembu nundu kwa andu mese yani bagia Kiembu muno na umuthe ni kwaria Kiembu. There is hakuna kitu sweet ta Kiembu vai anaka tutagitumagira muno. Ni sawa, we'll talk about Kiembu then.
Kuno twavotia at least nini kova at least Embu
A platform.
as a platform, at least an identity. People know now that Embu Norman is in Nairobi. And I'm looking forward for my colleague Embians when they're opening their businesses in Nairobi. Call us. We are going to come.
Sure.
We are going to tell our fellow Embians living in Nairobi to promote imundu tone mundu wetu. And I take pride in that thing because avataoni kwena mjengo na atumire I named it in honor of my sister. The late sister Nyawira.
Yes.
Na nilita Nyawira Center. Wakati wenye nilijenga petrol station ikienda kuisha, a lot of companies were approaching me. And most of them were owned businesses. Kwanza, a company called, let me not mention,
Yes.
gave me a very good offer. But somebody approached me. Ijini Anjage happens to come from Embu, Motondore area. Na neke mwene River Petroleum. So when River approached me, ngiori atrede,
Yes.
ile deal ananipatia, aifikia the other company. And I had to make a tough decision. I sat down with my family, nikamwambia, now look,
Yes.
it will be very unfortunate if I lease out this petrol station to another company, ira Mwembu etuke aina vata and tunaona ako kila mahali Kenya.
Sure.
So yone spirit ningeenda moso to hii generation ya rika yetu ningetaka hiyo ni culture ningetaka tujifundishe sana
Gukurania.
because unless we grow ourselves and wanja matigaoka gutukuria tutekuritie, we first of all need to believe in our people for the outsiders to believe in us.
Sure.
And I believed in River. Na even on that day, I saw that culture sa imeanza kukita mizizi kwetu. Kitu ya pili,
Yes.
which ambao ni kitu yenye iliongelelewa sana. The dairy sector. Sector area. That conversation, I think, took almost 60% of the time that we had. And even after that conversation, a lot of people have been following it up. We were privileged to have the chairman of the dairy board. Alikuwa pale Mheshimiwa Genesio.
Yes.
Akatupatia a lot of insights za sekta ya maziwa. We also happened to have the chairman of NEMA,
Yes.
Mr. Mogo, who also happens to be a very serious dairy farmer. So, also we have we had this guy called Yeshada Mune.
Yes.
also a family that is too deep in the dairy sector.
I want us to dip in the milk when we have time, but because we are going on a break, before we break we are going to come back and talk about maziwa. But kuna mambo yenye ningependa kuuliza kabla tuende break, ndio tupumzike tukikuwa kwa nini kwa angle. I love that. I don't want us to move from business because you're also a business person. Kuna time unasikianga business community ya Embu imemeet, tuko na hizi miradi and you're part of it. I believe you're part of it.
Sure, I am.
But juzi hatuja kuona ukiongelelea mambo ya insecurity. Ama uliamua watu wa Embu kwanza washughulike na biashara ya insecurity and start stuff, or why didn't we see you at least raise a voice?
Okay, about the insecurity thing.
Yes.
First of all, let me... okay, again, that's also another misconception, my dear Njoki, because
yes.
In the Embu business community, we happen to have some structured leadership.
Okay.
We have a chairman, we have a vice, we have the secretary. And niye Ken Java, mimi ni mtu anajua sana kupitia wale viongozi wenye sisi wenyewe tulikana tukachagua.
Yes.
The issue of the insecurity in Embu is a serious, it bothers me seriously. Niwisi Njoki, in 2015,
yes.
In 2015, I used to have a bar at Kangaru.
Yes.
Na ina bar vare Kangaru yatakuwa Chamunga bar. Sijui kama bado hiyo ni mali iko. One morning we woke up. Ni wakati ujua sa mimi nilikuwa hustler tu. Nilikuwa bado pale chini, nilikuwa napiga aso.
Yes.
Tuliamka siku moja nikapata nimenyoroshwa kila kitu kwa ile bar. A week later, I was living in an estate called Sunrise. Sunrise iko hapa ni brewery. I think my firstborn daughter was like 1.5 years.
Yes.
Tuliamka tukapata tumefagiriwa nyumba. Kila kitu, including ile mfuta. Unajua wanyasa boys akifika tu unaamka unaitoa unairusha hapo.
Mulihamishwa.
Tulihamishwa. So I know firsthand how insecurity can destabilize business people.
Sure.
And it is not a matter to si kitu ya kuongelea kimchezo. I had an opportunity, a privilege to engage my chairman or business community. They happened to update me on what they were doing. Na tukashikiriana kabisa. Na I'm happy because I have seen them do some things. They have taken some steps. Now, I believe now security imerudi.
Thank you very much, guys. I want us to break, but I'm going to go on Facebook and see what you guys are saying. And I'm so happy that we have people in here. And by the time we come back, I'll also still want to understand sababu kila mtu saizi tunaegemea kila mtu pande yake kisiasa. Utuambie kama uko kwa siasa ama tu ni kelele huku nje kabla watu wanitandike. And I want to appreciate Victor Motuge Kadhuri. Anasema, hey, nice initiative. But tukutengenezea sauti, wamekutengenezea, wameniambia wana work on it. Tuned in. Thank you to Jacqueline Murugi. There's V Joy. Embu to the world. Frederick Mumbia says, Mumbia says, exposing everyone to the national market with the ones who have already made their platform is a very good idea. I think he's appreciating that you gave some of our youths time to also interact. Yeah. Victor Mike says, very true. It was an Embu affair. You exposed Embu people to the national market, and it's a good thing. Hongera sana Mdosi from Ken Muremi. When I say Ken will go to heaven, Peter Spence amesema kama amesema unaenda mbinguni ni kweli unaenda.
Amen.
Adeline wa Embu says, Embu tumebarikiwa kweli. Thank you very much for the feedback. Ken Java, you're really a destiny connector. Everybody appreciating what you're doing. Gige Denny says, napenda hii moto yake. We can if we think we can.
Yeah, sure.
Anasema kwanza inaanza kwa kichwa. Keneni says, hapa ndio home. Thank you so much for joining in. Watu wa Embu County, nisikizeni vizuri. Tusiachilie huyu mzae. Akona big vision. He's ready to support generations, which I think is one of the things that you're saying advised you even to come up with the industrial revolution.
Yeah, sure.
Embu Industrial Revolution is unstoppable. Much respect. The enemy is poverty. We are focused.
Yes, it is.
I think we all agree if we fight the issue of sina pesa, we will have addressed so many things. And I would want also us to mention on mental health issues.
Oh, yeah.
Watu wamejibeba vibaya sana na wame left the group. But my director is telling me, itabidi tupumzike kwanza. And I really want to take it from part 1 that it has not just started. It's a continuation that's going to continue. And as we take a break, guys, I mentioned and said earlier that it's very important also to go back and watch what was done in the Embu Connect, because we might not be able to bring on board everything, but you can take time and also advise and come on board, which I think it's a great idea. We take a break. Once we come back, we pick up more on the dairy industry idea.
Thank you. My name is Ken Java Wakagoto. I am a businessman and a passionate avocado farmer.
Wapi shangwe na vigelegele? Wakagoto Nation. Mimi ni member. Ando wake mangaroe. Muriaro.
Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Sisi tumetoka pale Kameo, tukateremuka Majimbo, tukaenda Modhatare, tukakuja hadi Etabua, tukafika Kambo na sasa tuko wapi? Jenzi oza
nakuma riria kimangaro ya umbirwo tutiano na undu to renge koguo Bwana Kagoto Ngai arokurathima ni undu wa guturetere maendeleo ta mama na ni tukwivoka no kuthie na mbere na guturetera menge makiria
twina gikeno ni undu wa Wakagoto guka thiini wa gikaro giki na makiria nie andu wa biashara ni turacokia ngatho nyingi tondu mwaka muthiru Wakagoto no atubere abroni wa mundu
Wakagoto asanteni sana wanania na ukakumwira ni mumemba wa Wakagoto Nation. Wakagoto ni mwagwa vision ya Wakagoto. President Wakagoto wa mbere ni gukirieti mawira ma yuthi yetu ni mwagwa kau kwe andu mathiete varia rweka vau ngeti ria Manyaga Jeremia ni murona iganda irakwa vau icio ni cia gukirieti mawira kwe ya yuthi yetu ti sawa. Twere Wakagoto atia arorathimwa.
I think I'm happy that we are also engaging and conversing with you people. And I'll definitely take time to read your comments because it's important when we know that guys are also listening and really want to understand what's happening. And I think you're giving us an understanding that even as we sit back, nikianza kufanya mambo ya kufanya biashara kabla nichukue mkopo, nitaweza kujipanga and to know how best. And before we went for the break, we spoke about insecurity, which I really appreciate that you're taking it in mind with an understanding of it really affects even business. And a friend of mine called Dennis was saying maybe ingekuja mwisho, but with insecurity, we cannot be able to invest.
Yeah, sure.
I think that was one of the things that I wanted to bring out. Because if whatever you're investing is not safe, you don't need to invest it.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for even being here. I'm really having fun. And yeah, so now you spoke about the dairy milk idea. Na mimi kama mtaalamu wa lishe bora, unajua mimi mtaalamu wa lishe bora. Lishe bora is nutrition. You know nutrition.
In Kiswahili.
Walisema wewe sema tu na English. Lishe bora tu inakuwa tu sana, but lishe bora ni nutrition. So I'm a nutritionist. And kwa sasa nikisikia mtu akisema mambo ya ku make sure that we have milk even in Embu County, I feel it's a beautiful thing even for that yule farmer ako pale chini, because it starts in the household level. Most of the times when you're telling watu wa fight calcium, tunawambianga wakunywe maziwa, tunaanzanga hapo because we understand it is available.
Yeah, sure.
So, and as we talk about now the initiative about daily, and because it's an idea maybe you have taken up, and as you're saying, it came from different people. What is that one thing that you want to start by understanding about milk? Because atujasikia mahali unaongea umesema mambo ya kokoto na vitu kama hizo. So I'm thinking in my head you are on research mode. So what is that one thing that you feel if you're going to look at dairy industry, this is where I want to start with the team?
So thank you. Okay, in the Wakagoto Nation, we happen to have a vision that we call the Embu Industrial Revolution,
Yes.
Vision 2035. Ukiangalia hii picture is an illustration
Yes.
of how we desire Embu to be in the next 10 years, that is by 2035.
Yes.
So the initiative, the Embu Industrial Revolution, Vision 2035, ni vision ileo turageria kuona kana Embu
Yes.
nwege na iganda at least igana rimwe by mwaka wa 2035. Njoki, I happen to have the privilege of traveling to a few countries, not very many. And I can say without fear of contradiction
Yes.
that no country has ever developed without industries. Hakuna. Talk of America, talk of Japan, China, Russia, Israel, South Africa.
Yes.
All of them.
Invested in industry.
They have invested in industries.
Yes.
And we sat down with my team in the beginning of last year, that is around March. It happened wakati wenye maneno ya toa jam ilikuwa tumeanzisha I happened to collect a lot of views from mwananchi na ngimenya kaundu kare kamwe kathumburaga mwananchi muno pio maundori monthe ni wagi wa mawira. Unemployment.
True.
Unemployment is a serious disaster. One and this, I think it should be declared a national disaster. One day, at my kangaroo office, a lady visited me.
Yes.
Aukambira dunie Kenya. Mimi nimesomesha mtoto wangu. Nilijinyima kila kitu. Nikauza shamba yangu. Nimeuza hadi ng'ombe. Mimi nimeajiriwa kama amboch. Nilijinyima hadi nguo za ndani. Can you imagine that?
Wow.
Nika make sure katoto kangu kamesoma hapa UN. Amemaliza, amepata degree, amekosa kazi. That conversation, I think it was the most humbling conversation I've ever had in my entire life. And I called my team. Namera, we need to research on how we are going to tackle this unemployment problem.
And get people involved.
And get people into employment.
Yes.
Because, we cannot all of us go into business.
True.
And I also got a team of experts. Na tukawapatia kazi, tukawambia mimi I'm a Nambian, mimi nimezaliwa hapa, kila kitu yangu yote ni kama iko hapa. Nilianzia hapa.
Sure.
Hii shida ya ukosaji wa kazi si kitu tungetaka kujificha. We do not want to bury our head in the sand
and assume it's not there. Shida iko.
Because at the end of the day, sianino sietu, ukienda kwa hizi mitaa, kama ukipita pale Motondori, tunapatanga mavijana wamekaa hapo. Okitumita na Kiembu Maimong'etho. Veto ni avanjukiri.
Kabisa.
Vanjukiri wakuthi vare vasongo, vare wanaruona, utapata pako na vijana kama 200. And that is happening with almost all villages.
Kuna mahali.
And ukisikiza, our leaders have been saying, siana sietu ni kuitendaga ni kuruta wira, watoto wetu wamepotelea kwa pombe, wamepotelea kwa bangi. And I thought it is a high time now we stop that nonsense of blame games. And seek to see why are they there. Unapata kiongozi anasema watoto wetu wamepotelea kwa pombe, ndio maana wamekaa pale. Lakini they don't want to go an extra mile.
Kama angeamka na kuna mahali angefanya kazi, angerauka hapo.
That is it. So we contracted a committee of experts. Tukiambia tu wajaribu kutuelekeza the solution that we can offer to our people. And after like 2 or 3 months, they presented a report. A report that,
now the vision.
No, not passing on the vision, but on a solution that can be able to at least reduce the unemployment problem.
Step by step.
And they said, Ken, you're already in manufacturing.
True.
When we look at all the things, when we try to research on a solution that can work for our people in Embu, tunajipata tu tuko na one solution peke yake. Putting up of industries in Embu. And that is when now I also went a step further and formulated a vision called the Embu Industrial Revolution. Kutoka hapo, kwanza nikakimbia South Africa, nikafanya research au ni watu wetu hapa Kenya, nikafanya research hapo. Nikatoka hapo, nikakimbia Israel, nikaangalia. You'll be surprised. Niwa na kuena wanaomonjo, okay, I think diga wakana, we really need some intervention. And dikuwa kumakuenga ito ondoriwe, ngai wetu, no wake ngai wa Israel, no wake ngai wa South Africa, no wake ngai wa China. Nitue, a country like Israel, in 1981, Israel was exporting soil from Kenya. Tondo muthetua Israel, ne mudhanga, it cannot support agriculture.
And now they are farming.
Shamelessly, Kenya is importing fruits from Israel to Kenya.
With the soil
that we exported to them.
It's a challenge.
And I felt that we now need to have a deliberate conversation on this issue of putting up of industries. Na tukaanza, tukatengeneza vision yetu, and we have a very clear roadmap on how we can achieve 100 industries by the year 2035. And from that, we are assuming that each factory will be creating employment to at least 500 people.
Which is a step.
So yeah, sure. So if we are able to create 500 opportunities in each industry, and we are able to lock 100 industries by the year 2035, it means we have created 50,000 job opportunities directly.
To the community. Yeah,
to the community and to our people. There is something called the multiplier effect.
Yes.
Multiplier effect. Wacha nitumie tu example. Wacha tu nitumie si example. Hata staki nitumie example yangu ya Igolwan.
Yes.
My good brother, Mukundi of Privam Nuts. He has a factory at Modatari called Privam Nuts.
He has decided, mimi makandamia nitaitap from here.
Yes. For those people who know how Modatari was 10 years ago, or around the same time Privam Nuts was setting up, they can attest that that factory has improved.
Yes.
That area. Tondo mudu no kudivo, with the vaina tumika watu wa kuruga mandasi.
Kabisa.
Vaina
tosukuru tonini
yeah vaina twiri tu
yes
tutavota kugia chance ya kuthoma wega. Now they have now put up some salons kinyozi kwina andu akunukanga mboga vau the multiply effects boda ni athonde ku stage vau.
yes
So if we are able to lock 50,000 job opportunities directly, we expect that the multiplier effect is going to at least unlock opportunities for a double of that number. So we are talking of unlocking opportunities for like 150,000 people. Yes.
And I really appreciate, because in this vision you feel that we are bringing people on board, and that's why I started by mentioning about now the daily industry, that everybody, and including me, I feel it's a good idea if we bring it on board. And mara nyingi tunasemanga nyombani ene kana kwando mundu akingera kuno ringa kamurango, and we know most of the things that factors that affect even investment. One of the key things is going to be the government involvement. And allow me to ask, because wewe umekuwa kwa biashara, the industrial idea is something that you're starting off. Do you work with government ama wewe tu mambo zako tu zisonge? And at what point do you bring now the government on board? Ama pia hamuongeleshani na watu wa serikali, wewe ni kivyako biashara na serikali kivyake? Or how are you now going to ensure that being in Embu County, having a government of the day, that they understand this vision, that hata mimi mwenye nitakuja on board, I feel safe? Because it all starts from the hosting like government or county, which is going now to be the Embu County. How well do you bring on board now the government to work with you? Ama kila nyani na starehe zake?
No, okay, I didn't expect that question. But since umeuliza, singetaka kurusha blame game sana. So far so good, we've not had so far so good.
Yes.
The county government, we can say it has been quite supportive. We also understand that it's also doing their bit, and we appreciate.
Yes.
We know that they are constructing in partnership with the national government. They are constructing the county aggregation industrial park at Mashanga, which we appreciate, because at the end of the day, we have to agree that poverty is our common enemy.
We all have to fight.
Tukimaliza umaskini, tutakuwa tumemaliza almost 90% of our problems. So we can say the county government has been relatively supportive. There's nothing much that we can say about it.
Okay, now let's talk about the dairy industry, which I think you've picked up, and most people I can see. I'll read the comments when after some time. The dairy industry, we have seen small industries open up. Kama umekaka Embu, unajua kuna kiwanda ya maziwa inafungukanga. Wanatengeneza maziwa kidogo, wanajaribu kutengeneza. Hata juzi kuna mtu alitengeneza nini ya yogurt. What do you think is one of the key challenges yenye tunaonanga tumeanza na tumeanguka, that you really want to address, so that even as we start to look at the daily products that we want to prepare from Embu, and knowing that we have a lot of milk, somebody mentioned and said is close to 280,000 liters in a day. How do we look at it to ensure that it doesn't go down? Do you have now real investors coming? Are you going to involve everybody? Mpaka mwananchi wa kawaida anasikia I'm part of this initiative.
Okay, thank you. Taking you back to the Embu Industrial Revolution, Vision 2035. As I said, we've really tumeyongelelea. I can say in every platform that I get, mimi lazima niongee kuhusu the Embu Industrial Revolution.
Yes.
And as we know, all our leaders, like you see, like now, kila kiongozi anakuanga na kitu inaitanga their pet project. Ama the legacy that they would want to leave behind.
Yes.
One of the legacy that I would like the Wakagoto Nation to leave behind is kumaliza hii maneno ili janga la ukosaji wa kazi. So when I have been moving around talking about the Embu Industrial Revolution, because each day is a learning day.
It's a process.
Kila siku unaamka, you talk about it. Kuna mama mboga atakwambia kitu huko umefikiria na unaona kweli kitu inaweza ikatumika. We understand that and this is now where we've been getting it wrong.
Yes.
Embu County, for the longest time, it has been a price taker. A price taker means twe twikaraga nthi uguo Kirinyaga mathondeke ngano, Kirinyaga mathondeke mucere, Meru mathondeke iria, Thika mathondeke suma, Athi River mathondeke thimiti. We are just taking prizes. We are not a prize maker. And that is one thing that we have to get it right.
Yes.
We have to ensure that Embu becomes a prize maker, not a prize taker. And for industrialization to work, we must agree that there must be availability of raw materials.
True.
Ndongithe kuthondeka kindu utai na raw materials. And with time, we've come to realize we have an untapped resource
in the county.
Sure. Embu twina resource iretwa iria. Each day, Embu erutaga at least iria 280,000 liters.
Wa muthenya.
Each day. Atengari nonaga igioka guku Embu ciarita ngiri 10, be it from Brookside, Mount Kenya, Crown Dairy, magiraga iria ngari 28 wa muthenya kuma Embu. Very unfortunate.
Na tutina vandu turegwatiria tue.
Gutina vandu tureka ati. Ugakuroria tariu tuge wikara Garissa.
Niguo.
I'm sure kura kwenyu Kithimu ni murima ng'ombe.
Sana gikuo nyingi muno.
If today aciari aku kura Kithimu mendi area Brookside yagira iria vau kana Mount Kenya Milk, watauzia maziwa na shilingi 40 peke yake leo hii. 45 there about
Yes.
By the time hiyo maziwa inakufikia Garissa wewe, itakufikia na 150 shillings.
Kabisa, yoga tuko ni 150.
Yeah.
Na maziwa ya kawaida ni 102.
102. So now the Embu dairy industry imeongelelewa sana. And more so during the Embu Connect. The chairman of the dairy board gave us a lot of insights.
Yes.
Na nivo tuonire atiriri tukigwetaga ndeto ya iganda tutingiambia kuga ndeto atia indo ira twe tutarimaga
niki musa niki we nakio
niki we nakio. And you know we must create a value chain that also benefits our farmers.
True.
Our farmers have been crying for the longest.
Yeah.
Ati tue iria guku twiragwa nire gakinya shilingi 50 and it never comes to reality. So now we decided let us focus our conversation on the dairy side, on the dairy sector. Na ilikuja tu naturally, organically it came.
Yes.
Ilijitoa kabisa during the Embu Connect where guys really discussed about milk.
True.
Na tuwako tukiaudia Njoki. Ugakuthi Meru. Meru wako na kiwanda ya maziwa inajita the Mount Kenya Milk, the Mount Kenya Dairy.
No maragireria gogo.
Na nwango gwetere tondu vaina several kiria.
Milk nini?
If you look Meru, mari na kiganda gitagwa Meru Central.
Yes.
Kithondekageria gitagwa Mount Kenya Milk. In the same Meru, mwonore wengi wa iguru wa Isiolo.
Yes.
Mari na kiganda gitagwa Meru Highlands, which borders Meru and Isiolo.
Yes.
Ukienda hapa kwetu tu chini kwa ndugu wetu wa Nyeri.
Yes.
Wako na factory ya pombe inajita Narumoro Dairy. Arafu twenaenge marivare Mukurweini metagwa Mukurweini Dairy.
Yes.
Mathondeka area retagwa Royal Fresh. If you move on this other side, just to mention a few,
yes.
If you just move on the other side, the Kiambu. Kiambu mari na factory retwa Githunguri Dairy. Which is doing so well.
Yes.
Kura kwa mheshimiwa Gathoni wa Musomba. If you go to Nyandarua,
yes,
they have a factory called Kinangop Dairy.
Very true.
Iganda icio cionthe ni iganda cieria. Twe avogo twethiururukite Kirinyaga, Embu na Tharaka Nithi for some reason.
Yes.
Sisi hatuna a vibrant ama a well structured milk industry.
Na nitu twina eria ringi.
Na nitu twina eria ringi. Kuguru niye nirenda kuambia conversation yenge ya kugatirire. Kirinyaga.
Yes.
Niyo matwendagiria mutu wa ngano.
Nima maintain.
Na mucere. Matikagire gwicire ndeto eria. Kirinyaga should stick to doing the wheat flour.
Yes.
And the rice.
Matutigira karia.
Matikagire gutonyera. Na eria riao maturetere. We are also going this side ya
Meru.
Ya Tharakanithi. Asira unise tukathi tukina mera atirire. Mumwe na gite kia deputy president.
Tosamirei.
Mutosamirei. Embu must, and I repeat,
become
Embu
price makers.
Must become a price maker in the dairy industry.
Very true.
How are we going to do it? Tumeongea na marafiki wengi tukaona viwanda za maziwa zimekuwa zinaanza.
Yes.
Embu gikathie kidogo okegwa ni kiagwa. And we've just contracted a consultant.
Yes.
To research on why is this 2-3 years inaanguka, 2-3 years zinaanguka. And one of the nini kinise puyata kindu kimwe kira umiria no nene pio it is because milk industry.
Yes.
You cannot play it alone. You cannot be a one man soul. Nini, you cannot be
one man show thing. Yes.
Ukiwa kwa maziwa.
Lazima ulete watu pamoja.
You must ensure people feel wakona ownership in that industry. So if you go to like my factory, yes. Eagle One, mimi ni yangu nasaga kakoto nauza hiyo maneno sinaishi hapo. If you go to guys like let's say Privam Nuts, it's a family-owned business. If you go to Tropical Nuts, yes. It's a family-owned business. For the milk industry, we are going to use a different approach. And the approach will be netoka to structure kiganda tumenye for us to be able to run
the factory itself now.
The factory. Nataka factory. Kifactory kiega kieria.
Nigite waro kiganda.
Kiganda kieria.
Nikinene opio.
Okay, for some reason nie kato maondo tonini for some reason.
Nei maondo inene ikamaondo kiando goko mbere.
So nuangi nyakagia if me alone ndingete gweka kaondo kanini as Embian
we must
do something massive.
Kabisa.
We must convince our brothers and sisters in Kirinyaga
that this is why we started.
Yenyu ni yetu. Mwilete huku na sisi tukule ngano na mchele yenyu. So we have gotten a consultant and it's a public listed company, so ni kampuni wanajua chenye wanafanya. We want to understand how can this company be a public owned company. So that njokie kura Garissa.
Yes.
Novote kugura shares yaku 10. I can be able to buy shares for my parents. Tuge mundu ta MCA no agure shares yake ni kidogo, and then we are going to put up a very serious dairy industry.
Yes.
Na nuanginya to make sure arimi yetu on there
ni maga involved. Niguwa na akireta eria vare akegusa aina pride na pereka maziwa kwa kiwanda ambacho mimi nimehusishwa. Yes.
And that we are going to get it right. So, like during the Embu Connect, we really discussed about that structure. We've gotten a lot of inquiries. Inquiries from as far as from the US. On Friday,
yes,
I got a call from an Embian living in Michigan. Ambira ke mwenye afuata conversation yetu thikwa Embu Connect.
Yes.
Ambira ono amanyitana na Embu era maikura US
matuige part of it.
Magure shares tondo wana wenye kwina formation mena sio na ku maybe I don't know they call themselves Embians in America, I don't know.
Yes.
We didn't go into details on namwe dingenda to discuss further. Tutayambiu. And they're even willing to inject like 50 million. Na njoki wona tuambereria kiganda kieria.
Yes.
The other support industries that will come alongside that, there are very many.
A lot.
Tareu,
including ya tomato sauce. Nimbe terete mudondeka tomato sauce. Mano vile kuna tomato sauce na tuna nyanya nyingi muno. Kise kava unowe. ise kaba uno wegwire.
Okay, negura kau nini kwanza kau nika Gen Z,
Yes.
a very young girl. That girl really motivated me.
Yes.
Nini alieka ile event aliipatia vibe ingine poa sana.
Before we leave the maziwa, somebody is mentioning, let me just say, Eric Tush anasema, the worst thing on this side of maziwa societies is that currently the highest price in the factories is 42 bob. That is in Kanja Dairies main stations. I am very sure others will start paying 37 bob. Na hawasemi, we have to start it. Yes, we can if we think we can. Mwingine anasema Embu must become a prize maker. Ice Cube Kenya anasema we must become the prize makers, not the prize takers. Kuna mwingine anauliza the solution that Embu needs is this. Ken for governor, he has my vote. Kwani kuna mahali unaitisha kiti na hujasema. Unajua sasa, wacha nimwangalie ndio nijue. Kadri namesema Ken for governor. Do you have politics in you? Because sorry nisipoiuliza hapa wanaweza nitandika hapa nje ya mrago. Do you have politics, an ambition for 2027? Ndio maana unatuweka hivi na mutaratara ama...
Okay, kwanza ni kabla jajibu hiyo swali
Yes.
Ningetaka there's something about the dairy industry that I would really want to mention Na kwa kila mtu ambaye anatusikiza,
Yes.
ningetaka achukue calculator mahali penye yako. Kwa wasikilizaji wote, hata wewe mwenyewe fungua calculator.
Guys, hii masaa ni ya calculator, si ya nini ya status update. We are using the calculator. Tumeambiwa tuchukue calculator kidogo, hesabu ya haraka. Lakini mimi nitasave yangu ikiwe pesa i-convert.
Yeah,
yes, calculator on.
Ningetaka nikuonyeshe why this dairy industry.
Yes.
Hii si kitu ya kunini ya kuapproach na mza.
Yes.
This will be a game changer.
True.
And I can tell you Njoki, in the next 200-300 years, sisi hatutakuwa.
We will not be here.
That's why this vision is pegged on our legacy. True. 200 years from today, our children will be saying, magakora magito sokeria ngatho. The same way to sokagiria aria maturwire wiyathi ngatho.
Kabisa.
India ciana cietu ikethiriria ati Embu ni twamitwire yatuika benchmark.
Yes.
A benchmark county. Ciana cietu ni igatucokagiria ngatho. So no mende turugure ni calculator tu ngwikithie thavu ni kidogo
Yes.
Ugakuthio muthi supermarket. Iria riri ria long life tulitaga UHT.
Yes.
Rirendua roughly 120 shillings. 120 bob Iyo maziwa niende utwekire iria ria Embu mathavwe.
Tuone bare gutetherekera.
Tuone bare ingitethia shareholders marugurite kiganda.
Yes.
So umeka 120 shillings.
Nimeka 120.
Uyo mtu iyo kampuni tuseme.
Yes.
Let's assume it's the Mount Kenya industry in Meru. Nindie tigaira niko gweta maritwa tondu we in business.
Tuthomagira kuo.
Tuthomagira kuo. So and also mokite magatugurira iria guku na siringi 42. So from the 120 shillings,
yes,
subtract 42 shillings.
Watu na 78 bob.
Watu na 78 bob. Tego?
Yes.
It will cost, at least I can say,
yes,
with a lot of authority,
yes,
the cost of processing 1 liter of milk,
yes,
including kapaket kaurekiragwa, cost of the kabox, the setups na kila kitu.
No menyere wana iria ria kwa kapoki tukathondekera wa guku.
That ndiko kwera the multiply effect tukwaragereria. It will cost 16 shillings to process a liter of milk. Kugo kuma kwe 78 shillings iria, taruta 16 shillings ino siya process. Umebaki na pesa ngapi?
62 bob.
62 bob,
Yes.
The cost of distributing a liter of milk,
yes,
put it at 7 shillings per liter, which is on the higher side. So subtract
55 bob.
Iruaso ni mathondekeria Meru, ni mariuta Meru, ni marikinya Mombasa. They cost that much.
Yes.
Matigete na mbesi gana?
55 shillings.
There is something we call miscellaneous vote. Give at least 5 shillings as the miscellaneous cost. Ya kuando that 1 liter.
Tuachikwa na 50 bob.
That 50 shillings,
yes,
that is the profit that factory in Meru is making from 1 liter of milk. Embu ngwirire atiriri wa muthenya
netu
turutaga iria 280,000 liters.
tuge maita na 50 bob ino
multiply na 50 bob.
Ani menda tonte betu vinge count ndagika ithano tutinge mevinga irauka 14 million.
14 million. Siku moja maziwa ya Embu inatengenezea viwanda za maziwa 14 million Kenya shillings.
Wow.
Eria rikama wa muthenya. Multiply hiyo pesa times 30 days. Wanatika nyambike
420 million.
No, how much?
420 million.
So that is the amount of money. 420 million. Nisio mbesa iria ria Embu rithondekagira iganda iria irogotaga iria guku Embu. Milioni 420. Multiply that by 12 months.
Ambongo ndiaria.
Liava
5 billion.
5 billion. That is the amount of money that Embu loses by selling our milk to other factories. Rukora tuina kiganda geto guku Embu.
Tungie gwicokeria ngatho.
Is your 5 billion the industry, the factory. No okay kina ugatirire.
Kwenda twandikite.
Wogo arimia manjani mavesa kwa bonus.
Niguo tukuvanga.
Hata wakulima wetu wa maziwa, we can give them bonus.
Very true.
And we can even say, tondo turathondeka profit ya shilingi 50. Na hii kiwanda ya maziwa ni kiwanda ambayo wenyewe ni arimia sio. No atugetiga tuthondeke profit ya shilingi 30. Murimi uria aguragirwa iria na 42. Tumuongerere shilingi kivao iria riake. That will be a lot of money. Wanataka tuko ningera nyambe ngunde iria.
Sawe
kugu nweka mathamu tugo.
Wetu nimburagia atiriri nundu mundu nwakorwa ataina mbia muvuko na niro na mama thani mathira na director gere kondiva. Na ningwendaga thome nai a few questions that are coming up. Dennis Mwangi is saying Ken Java often provides people with an income to support themselves and their families. This will not only boost the individual's economic stability but also influence the local economy. I think hapo kwa local economy ukishafanya hiyo hesabu wewe mwenyewe inakujazia, unasikia ni kama pesa imejaa. Alex Murithi anasema hiyo ya tomato pia iko late. This is so encouraging from Faith Nyakeo. Valentino is saying awesome, Embu will never be the same again, forward ever, backward never. Truly this is the land of opportunities, we need to look at it. Then maziwa industry is loading. Kwanza hapo vijana wanatolewa jam ya jobs sana. Hivyo ndivyo Ken Moremi anasema. Tukishaanza itanini sana. Then Dwega Emmanuel says, what astonishes a lot is that while big companies like KPLC publishes their profits, you won't see Brookside wakipublish, so hatuwezi hata jua maziwa yetu inakaa.
I know ni joking, sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt. 5 billion circulating in the economy of Embu would mean wanandise. Dukathake na billion. Do you know the county government of Embu receives I think ndingena kaweta figures mbero ate ni ndingena netweke misquoted but it's around the same figure, 5 billion. Ta imagine kiganda kimwe kieria gikithondeka profit ria county ivesagwo ni national government. Na besides kiganda kieria taruko nyune kithimo. Tiga ndumire example ya kithimo. Umuthi ukiganda kieria giki turauga kia Embu Dairy. Gigagutumwa kithimo. Next na kiganda kiu kieria niguo tuseme hiyo industry ya maziwa itajiri watoto wetu 500
na hata ijenga tu nyumba to wenye wanakuja kufanya kazi
mono. Tango very the value chain benefits. Next na kiganda kieria kwina investor wetu Muembu aguka one ando maretageria kiganda giki arimi mari na ng'ombe. Na niguo ng'ombe ruteria no anginyerie mutu na akio kiatume kiganda gya kuthondeka mutu vau
niguo
ciaga iganda cigana
igiri
na tugirwa kiganda kirandika andu at least egana
500
so sofa twandikite andu egana ngiri mone andikite guo mundu ucio akuthondeka mutu wira wake wa peak
yes
wenjoki tuone no ume kura Garissa
niguo
uke munyitane na andu na arata aku muthondeke kiganda gya kuthondeka ngunia
niguo
because you know unga inekangwa kwa gunia
kabisa.
Hizo ni viwanda ngapi?
3
si vautegwo
andu wengi 5 1500 nitwandikire
and 1500 ni maandikwa
yes
wavau wananiteko ni tothi
niguo
mbuke mone atiriri kiganda iki kirendi area
niguo
ria bilioni 10 wa mwaka
niguo
magenda makagura katoni kwa mwende kuria Thika kana industry area
magauka nacio
na ningira okangira na opportunity mbuke mbige kiganda gya kuthondeka katoni vau next. Izo ni iganda cigana so far?
and ciana 2000 mie na mawira
Izo ni iganda no izo ni iganda inya tego wavau andu aku kwenyu Kithimu
yes
meuria atiriri angu andu amarutaga cell tapes ko
ya kunyitithania by
cell tapes ono wekereria katoni ire no kuri over na cell tape. That's another opportunity.
very true
That makes it the fifth factory in that value chain.
yes
wavau
yes
ciana cietu iria ithomerete ndeto cia finance banking maundu ta mau na investors maina mbesa
makina kuthondeka wakulima sako
no maziwa sako
yes
twave na opportunity ya kuthondeka maziwa sako andu aria aku kwenyu Kithimu
yes
andu aria aku kwenyu ni Kithimu
yes
magairwo tumigunda tunini matangivota gutuma industries kama matangivota kugana tondu ici migunda no akwira okatu ekinyivaga migunda tu no akwira anyiva
yes
tuge kwina family yagairwo ka plot ka 50 by 100
yes
na matingivota guka develop wega kana makagane acio ni maoka matume bed sitters cina ngorova
yes
matume nyumba tegana rimwe tenants ao
yes
makaumaga kou factory makathi kou
yes
ere tuare tumatavota kuthoma kana aria me mathiete in the technical colleges
yes
makathoma ndeto ya dressing
niguo
ni maoka maige tu saloon vau
anaria maise gutuma ni mauka gutuma nguo cia andu akiri ari kuruta wira kuu ikiria
ni maoka gutuma vau
very true
and that is how the issue of insecurity is going to come to an end
because people are busy.
Insecurity sometimes comes because people are poor matino ndo agwika
and they have a lot of time
yes.
So
the issue of industries in Embu nino amende tu ku request muthikiri on there atuthikiriria our leaders
yes
this is not my vision
yes
mimi njoki mimi sina watoto wengi sana na nina masariritie this vision is not about Ken Java.
It's for generations and generations.
This vision is not about my family.
Niguo.
This vision is for our children. Aria turegwa wa muthenya.
Yes.
Watoto wetu wanajinyonga.
Niguo.
Our children have become so hopeless that they end up committing suicide.
Yes.
Tonduru ni muthomire migunda ni endirwe ni muturie mawira atongore ni kuga tunaangalia tutafanya now this vision ira take care of the current generation
yes.
and the future generation. My request to our leaders,
yes.
let us support this vision. It is not about me. If you don't support it, mimi nitaumia ni watu wetu.
Ugo ndurenda kuga tamu imwe uga long term. Turaroria maundu maria long term. Na no sene ngoririe kioria wa mbenga ega uguo. No wange gocokera nundu no mende kumenya. You know neona ndo makiuga these are the brains we want in Embu, these are great minds. Unasikia msukumo wa siasa ama bado hiyo namba haijatoka? Jua namba pia inaweza kuwa ilitoka ikakuangukia haijatufikia.
Joke, you know, to be very honest, and to put this conversation okay, and also to be very objective with my feedback.
Yes.
We have a vision we are championing. Our focus is enlightening our people.
True.
On the benefits that will come with the industries that we're going to put up in Embu.
Yes.
Hii mambo ya siasa, siasa newise Njoki acha nikwambie. Doing politics na ndo maina kanyamu muvuko ni politics mbega mono. Dingenda kwamba kugambo lwareu. I'm so focused on this issue of the industrial revolution.
Ndokwenda kuvengwa.
Ndikwenda kuvengwa. Na ndikwenda na wanaringi ndingenda vision ino yakwa itukano na siasa
niguo
na ringi bado twina kavinda
mithenya ni mingi
tugigakinya siasa ri.
Thank you very much na nirakena uria andu marandika hapa kwi mundu auga atiriri mundu usisema mahali ukigwanda unajenga tukanunulie mashamba uyo aiseti uyo urauga kagundu ukisema tu ni Githimo watu wa Githimo sijui tu unajua Githimo kuna shamba kubwa sana unajua unaweza kuwa hujatembea sana huko kwetu kuna mashamba kubwa very diverse bai Githimo kangwe kaga siasa yaku gana kiganda kingi gwako wanakwe uria somebody is saying I meant to vote him as our governor by fire by force mundu ndathura gwata igiti na ndosi auga gutivata gutukania maundu thaino and I love the objectivity. It's about the vision 2035. Once he decides, all the number comes out. He's going to tell us kama mambo ya siasa iko. As we wind up, sababu pia masaa imeisha. Sijui director angetuongezea masaa mawili, but masaa mawili yetu hana. But I believe it's a conversation that it's continuous. Because we will come back now and look at hapa ndio tulikuwa tumeweka akili, hapa ndio tulianza na Kigwanda, tumefika hapa, hii ndio mambo tumefanya na hapa ndio mahali tuko. Now, kabla niache Monjesi, Orai Online, ongekora kiuga, tunapenda kusema, mimi, unajua kuna neno moja alisema hapo, sitawahi sahau. Neno moja gani hiyo unaweza taka kuambia kijana mwenye ako mashinani ama hata kwa Nairobi ama tuseme ako Mombasa yenye ni take home akikaa nayo anakaa akifikiria even before we get to the next time? What would you tell a youth kwanza saizi na mambo za suicide and children just giving up? What would you tell a youth?
My message to the youth,
Yes.
Mwenye njoki, I also happen to be a youth. Bado jatoka kwa bracket ya the youth, Okay, because you know, unajua kikatiba miaka ya kutoka
ni
35,
Yes.
So at least bado nimebakisha mwaka ingine moja. So I'm talking to my
Fellow
generation. Yeah, sure. To my fellow youth,
Yes.
My advice to you is we need to be very strategic.
Yes.
We need to be very deliberate. We need to be very creative.
Yes.
And we need to be very innovative. An example, last weekend, any weekend, you know, I did them. Tuare madhikori the mom of the former CAS, Ann Nyaga.
Yes.
Navaruika. Then after the burial, I happened to go to Njokere Showground.
Yes.
Tuare no odhoni wa a good friend of ours. And I saw in that event,
Yes.
Asha's Mali team, you know, itagwa weekend plans. When I went to Njokere, also the Ashers there were weekend plans. As I mentioned when we were starting the show,
Yes.
during the launch of Cabro City,
They took parts.
the Ashers were the guys from the weekend plans. The pioneers of that idea,
Yes.
they were strategic, they were creative,
And objective.
they were innovative and
Yes.
very objective.
Yes.
That is why an idea ya muthemba tosio
Yes.
you kitega create more than 100 young people opportunities. And you know, in the 21st century,
Yes.
na kwe na kiendo, but and I also spoke this during the ECA. There was a program at the Embu University like a month ago. They were calling it the ECA mentorship program.
Yes.
Our youth, our young men, our young women, they need to start positioning themselves with the 21st century skills.
Yes.
Like now, this thing of AI,
Yes.
we need to be very strategic. Maundu tamutu tigetikire ayuthia na kurenja mama menyeka bretu.
True.
You just come up with an idea. Like now the thing I'm saying here, weekend plans.
Yes.
That idea, I'm sure in the next 10 years,
It will be
it will have
big deal.
created opportunities to more than 1,000 young people.
A lot.
So we just need to go to creative, and when we get an idea, tafadhali, let us run with it.
Very true.
Kusagira na idea, we kivaruru tengenete ni opiupi. You never know somebody is watching you.
Yes.
Okay, like now, drageni kama nataka kageta kwa Mirere Sound.
Edu.
I'm so proud. When I remember how that young man started. Yeye alianza na akajiskuma. Sahi Edu, I think among the investors we have in Embu, na nindiganirwa by then ni kuga gaka, for us to achieve the Embu Industrial Revolution Vision 2035,
Yes.
we also have a plan through the Wakagoto Foundation to take at least 10 investors to China every year. Tunaenda andu wetu mathimala na trade. How did China get to where it is?
Yes.
Because, right now, China has not only a role model.
In the industry.
A role model is somebody
Yes.
who has been where you are right now
And
is where you aspire to be.
Very
That is
true.
China for us.
Yes.
Ati woko munde joking nyakagia toothpick. Toothpick siya magego we import from China.
Edu twenda bete.
Koguo ningena tumbere tu vijana wetu tujaribu tukue very creative.
Yes.
Na kila kitu yote nye uko nayo jiamini, just do it.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate and hope that we are going to have another day to interact and just learn more. Because mauga ivanga ne inoranaga kane madhano ni manoranaga. And you see from as we live, kesho mi asubuhi mtu akiniamsha itamwambia where we are with Embu, we have decided we are becoming the price makers and not takers. Kanyamoka ukandathi mete vibaya sana. But before we go, let me just finish up with just three statements. Brian Karuru says there before cases of suicide were many because we had nobody listening, and I'm grateful Ken Java has come through and is acting as a mentor, coach, and a destiny helper. Then Joki Kemangaro, kuna shamba kubwa sana ya viwanda. By the way, I think the problem temigonda wamundo ina mugonda bakuveko ora feel neka mugonda kange investor. Weekend plans, thank you. Iron sharpens iron, thank you very much, Ruth. Amelie is saying that was short. It was short, but we hope next time we are going to tutaongezea wakati. Kujiamini ni muhimu sana, hongera sana. Hii safari tunaenda pamoja. Then Eva says lazima ningesisitiza hapa kwa gedhemo bwana kuna mashaba sana. Bernard is saying you have pure brains and I love your brains, and I think this is a conversation tutaendelea kukua and get. Somebody asked if where do they give ideas if they have ideas that can build to this vision. Okay. Thank you for that. Na by the kabla nisahau yes. Kabla nisahau ningetaka at least there is something that say about that young girl. Yes. That young girl during the Embu Connect, the one who raised the concern about what our brothers on the lower side of Embu can do. I did some research from that day. Yes. Jokine say Israel is one of the largest producers of milk in the world. Israel. Na Israel ni mali kona joto. Rio reto kwa watu on the lower side of Embu ne shadow. Varemeka, there is a farm called Emidan Farm. Do you know Emidan Farm is in the middle of Mbere? Naina ngombe makirima magana madatu. So I would want to advise my brothers and sisters from the lower side of Embu. Because kwena ka confusion negwire, that young girl auragia tue and Mbere. And you know there is no Embu. Embu na Mbere. Yes. It is one Embu. True. So that is only the lower Embu and this upper. Is the upper Embu. Yes. Brothers na sisters etu Mbere, tafadhali tuige ngombe. Isio believes maybe to atigero ne ando etu toro ati ngombe itinge vota ukurira Mbere. No amende. I can even talk with the owners of Emidan Farm. Yes. Ninema serie kuo. Ati omo the Emidan Farm. Yes. But then wananinga sera vinge. Okitangwire. And around the magenda safari park. Yes. Makaria gakuruwe. Gakurago karithiri tu avambere. Vau ni vau Emidan. Kuna amende to our brothers and sisters akure Mbere tafadhali. Join us in this vision. Sisi wote ni kitu moja. Mutikauge ati kuni ndeto yariwa kanando. No, sisi wote ni kitu moja. And dairy farming is doing so well in other areas like Israel. Ambayo hata it's even known to have very hot temperatures than Mbere. As we finish, nataka kukusomea kitu. Sijui kama tabia mtu wa kamera niletee kwanza ndio unijibu kama nakuona. Unajua umenichenga but ni sawa tu. Nataka kukusomea kitu hapa. Mirego ni miwili. One more night. Sema tam ni one time mama ni two time. Hivyo ndivyo watu huko kwa comments walikuwa wanasema ni one time two time. Lakini niliona wewe ni kama ulikuwa kwa mambo zingine. Hiyo post ilikuwa inasema aje?
Hii mambo ya one time na two time. Unajua I didn't expect that question from you siku kimoja nitakwambia.
Yes.
I think I would not wish to comment. No. Okay, let me rephrase the nini because I didn't expect that question.
Yes.
So I'm still trying to process the answer to see how best I should bring it out.
Yes.
Ya najua sasa kuko na mrengo ya one term, two term.
Yes.
Sasa sisi watu wa the Embu Industrial Revolution
Yes.
sisi hatuna term lakini maybe the members of Wakagoto Nation.
Yes.
They might decide otherwise. Currently, that phrase, it is a political phrase.
Yes.
The one term, two term, it is a political phrase. Now, as I said, I think it was like 2-3 months ago.
Yes.
Currently, sisi, ama mimi wacha mimi nijiongelele. Because I lead members and I lead a very democratic formation.
Yes.
So I can only talk for and on my behalf only. Hii maneno ya siasa ya 2027 kwa sababu one term na two term ni mambo ya siasa.
Yes.
Mimi sijakaa chini nikafanya uamuzi either niko kwa siasa ama siko kwa siasa.
Yes.
Whatever I posted last night about the one more night.
Yes.
Unajua jana mimi nimekuwa kichwa changu inafikia leo tuko kazi. Unajua mfanye biashara, Monday yako na maneno ya checks, yako na maneno ya nini.
Ndio unaamka kukimbizana.
Mimi kufika nyumbani jioni nikakumbuka there is one more night still to rest, which is now today.
Yes.
But what I would wish to say about the 2027 politics,
Yes.
na nitaisema kwa sababu umeuliza, and I've never been candid with that conversation before.
True.
In 2020, we live in a democratic state. Mimi njoki ukiniangalia hivi, I qualify for any position apart from 3 positions. One, kiti ya president. I can never discuss. Mimi si mtu wa kuongea stories za jaba. Mimi najua sahi bado mimi ni kijana mdogo.
Yes.
Bado jakita mi. So I can never ever dream of becoming a president right now. Mambo ya MCA.
Yes.
In the Wakagoto Nation, we have young leaders. Now, it will be very unfortunate that by the time we are getting to 2027, I will not be a youth anymore.
True.
So I cannot go to compete with the young leaders in the Wakagoto Nation for the MCA position. Kiti ya women rep. Kiti ya women rep, mimi si ukiniangalia njoki, mimi nikikushika hivyo tutapata mtoto. Kwa hivyo sasa
huwezi kuwa women rep.
Mimi siwezi kuwa women
true.
Rep. So we are left with how many options?
2-3.
3. Gani
Yes.
na gani na gani?
Ya governor, ya senator na ya MP.
Hizo viti tatu. I believe all those leaders are serving their first term.
Yes,
Is
they
it?
are. Yes.
So if we decide by any chance we are going for any of those positions,
Yes.
what I can guarantee, it will be a guaranteed one term. If we decide, umesikia, there is that disclaimer. If we decide,
Disclaimer.
if we decide, unajua njoki, I happen to be among this kana wanewe ka story karega kirikaniro rikariri.
Yes.
Musa aturaga kigenda ni kwira andu atiriri ndeto cia Ngai na kwira andu matamwitikagia
Niguo.
thiku imwe Ngai akimwira atiriri no andu makimwira atiriri Ngai uturaga utwirite ndeto ciake
Yes.
wanake ndekuruke
Tumuone.
auke atwaririe
Yes.
ni wise Ngai ucio ndauma gitiri giake andu acio mateaukiririo njara
Mamenye
So,
nĩ mane Ngai.
mamenye nĩ mane Ngai. So
Yes.
when I say that of the 3 positions that we qualify to go for, should we make a decision to go for any of them,
Mutatuambia.
the current people sitting, the incumbents, it will be a guaranteed one term.
Mara moja.
For those 3, any of them. And we are going to create a tsunami. Nivi say by the 2022 Njoki,
Yes.
2022, sisi tulipigania watu viti. Hii madi unaona leo siko studio hii,
Yes. Ilikuwa mikutano
this was
then.
like a command center. So, ni uragia atiriri,
Yes.
if the effort we put for those people, kama ni sisi tunaweza tukafikiria tuitishe.
Yes.
Mimi niliambiwa tu siku ingine kazi itakuwa tu kidogo. Itakuwa tu waniambia chapa ilia dadi. Na mimi tunanyorosha na tunapita. I cannot let down my members.
Yes.
I cannot let my members live with the tag of a failure. Kwa hivyo, whichever we decide, I've not said we've decided, it will be a guaranteed. Hizo zingine 3, mambo ya rais, mambo ya MCA, mambo ya women rep, I cannot want to comment on those.
Asante sana, time is up, but kuna mtu ananiambia, Maureen is telling me, Ken, advise our leaders, they unite and solve the issue of Mogoka ban. We've seen the issue of Mogoka, and now as we look at being price makers, is it something that you feel it's about time we step our foot from every corner as a leader, as a mwananchi, and how best do you think we're supposed to handle the issue? Tukimaliza na wadau, nitasoma comments baadaye, nitamwambia pia ingie online sababu nayo huku mmefurika.
The issue of Mogoka, Kaunduka, this guy from Kilifi North, Owen, Owen Bayer.
Yes.
Unajua sasa mimi Njoki, mimi ni mwananchi, so I can only join my fellow wananchis
Yes.
to plead with our leaders. Please do not let our people down. Kuna wakati ya kupigana vita, and there is a time for uniting for purpose. What we call the unity of purpose.
True.
This issue of Mogoka calls for our leaders to unite. Because the much we can do sisi kama wananchi. Unajua Njoki, mimi na wewe, yetu tu ni kuongea tu hapa kwa street.
Very true.
We have leaders in parliament. What we need to do is just, we plead with them. At least washikane.
Yes.
They put their differences aside to protect our farmers. At a time that we are really crying because of unemployment,
Yes.
we cannot withstand a ban on Mogoka. It will really affect our
It'll
people.
crumble everybody.
Kogo no atoma votu manyitane, na at least inge wana governor wetu, na senator na atongori on the manyitane, because this would be a serious crisis that would happen. But still, under the Embu Industrial Revolution,
Yes.
we have to think about how we are going to value add our Mogoka. Tondo okona kaundo kauga tuma maita maire madatu.
Niguo.
At the end of the day,
Kavota ukari.
Mogoka itakuja kumalizwa na hizi tu siasa. So as Ambians, we need to put up a team, and that's why I'm also calling upon our leaders to support this vision.
Yes.
We need to come up with a formula of value adding our Mogoka to maybe make juices, tutengeneze pombe ya Mogoka, because the moment we package it as a maybe of vitamin hivyo itaisha, or even see if there is any medicinal benefits that
Yes.
our Mogoka can get us, and then we can even open up a factory at Muraro or Meka nete diando wetu.
Thank you very much. I think we edit like in ile series sasa, in ile tunamaliza series. I want to edit by first appreciating your time and being here, sharing your wisdom, helping us also dive in. At least tumekelea kichwa kidogo mahali on your vision, and I believe it's something that goes a long way even beyond here. And I believe that we have very many youths when you work online who feel it's a conversation you need to have every Sunday. Kuna mtu anasema ikuwe hapa hiyo conversation ifanyangwe every week. It's a conversation we need to have every other time, because I feel it's an important conversation and it's about time, because it's not all about kuamka asubuhi nilienda. Everybody needs to be added something. Thank you very much, guys. I'm so happy that we had this conversation. I'm so grateful that you tuned in and watched. Special appreciation to the Wakagoto TV. the team behind here, hamjawaona vile wanakaa, fine, thank you. And they are doing an amazing job. We want to really appreciate the Kabro City, even for letting Mdosi to be here and like sharpen our brains and make sure that you're here. Appreciate the work you're doing with the Wakagoto Foundation. It's reaching so many. Kwanza wacha nionge kama mse wa creative kwanza saa hizi. To say that we really appreciate. Tukienda huko manzia tulipi hall. Tunaingianga tu nafanya vitu zako una come out. So I would want to appreciate now the Wakagoto Foundation and you as a person for whatever you're doing in this county. Na kabla niwaambie wazime kamera, nataka nikupatie kamera moja hapa. Utupatie ile inaitangwa kifunga mjadala kwa sasa. Utuelezee and then we're going to close this show.
Okay, thank you. Pia Njoki, kwanza ni kushukuru sana for hosting me. You know I'm not used to these things there. But pole we are headed there.
Yes.
Iko vitu tu mbili ningetaka tukumalizia na zenyewe.
Yes.
One, this Wakagoto Nation podcast show,
yes,
will be a weekly show. We are yet to decide and we are going to engage with our members to know if we should have it on Sunday or Mondays. And we would want this to be a platform that is going to impact our youth. We are going to give a platform to our farmers to sit here, vijana wetu wa creative industry, our musicians, our business people.
Yes.
And I have given very firm instructions that this will not be used for politics. So tunataka tuitumie kukuza hii mali yetu ya Embu. Yes. Kitu ya pili, I would wish to plea with our business people. This vision, the Embu Industrial Revolution, Vision 2035.
Yes.
As a business person, naweza nikawambia, manufacturing iko na manufaa mbili za maana zaidi. One, the return on investment, what we call in business the ROI,
yes,
that you get from manufacturing, you cannot compare it with any other business. Two, there is something we call the per capita income.
Yes.
The per capita income is the amount of money that circulates in a certain region of a certain period of time. The per capita income of Embu,
yes,
or rather the disposable income, can only be improved by us putting up industries. Mimi, I chose myself nisikue wale wa Embu wenye wanakuanga na wivu. I have been in manufacturing,
yes,
and not many people will come to tell you that this is a good place to be. Sai Njoki, Eagle One, as at today,
yes,
tumeajiri under the Eagle Group,
yes,
tumeajiri watu 1,400. Those are 1,400 families benefiting from one company.
true.
Sai ukienda pale Kangaro sai as we speak, I think ni kitu kama saa 3.
Kuna watu wako Wera.
Tuko shift ya usiku. Ukienda pale Rueka mahali tunatengeneza kiwanda ya avocado. Sai usiku kuna watu wakomboka.
Na hiyo tutaongelelea siku moja, nitatembea huko tuiongelelea tukiona.
Tutatembea huko.
Yes.
Sai wase wakomboka pale. Ukienda pale kwetu Ishara saa hii. Wase wakomboka.
True.
Tunatengeneza lami tunapeleka hadi Garissa. Manufacturing will benefit you as an investor and it will benefit our people. I am seated here, but I have like over 200 people working right now at this time of the night.
Yes.
Tafadhali tushikaneni tufanye Embu ikue an industrial county. The benefits are going to outlive us. And one day, tutakumbukwa sisi, we are the ones who stepped forward,
yes,
and pushed for this. Otherwise, to all the members of the Wakagoto Nation,
yes,
mimi nawapenda sana, you know, as your team leader.
yes,
You know, I feel so good. Sulisikia pale mbele mimi nimesema, mimi, sai siezi nikajieka mafikiri ya kuwa rais.
Kuna watu wengi.
No. Mimi sitaki nijidanganya ati nitazunguka hii nini. Sasa mimi nimetengeneza nikainchi yangu kanaitwa Wakagoto Nation.
Yes.
To my members, I love you. Mimi nawatakia mema.
Yes.
May God come through for all your wishes. Mungu awapatie afya njema. wale wasi Wakagoto Nation wenye wako job, wanafanya biashara kama mimi. May God give you the grace that you also granted me. May God come through for you. May God see you through. And whenever we succeed, tukumbuke kutolea watu wengine jam, ndio sisi wote tuinuke pamoja. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much. I do not want to add, subtract, or do nothing. And so I'm just going to say it was a pleasure having this evening. I believe that we've all learned something, we've taken home something, and we'll continue the conversation, the interactions, as Ken says. And we hope to keep bringing people more and more people for education purposes and also for growth. I've been your host, Njoki Wanjiro, if you like. And till next time, adios.